Welcome back, everybody. I'm Happy Tangent, and this is Vampyr, part 32, I believe. We're starting right where we left off. We're going to go around the room of the Ascalon Club here, meet everybody. Hopefully it's not too long and boring.
That went well.
Shouldn't really have to talk to this guy.
It is always useful to bolster the troops' morale, especially before a difficult battle.
You have the makings of a general, my lord.
I was, though very long ago, well, not quite a general, but a proud defender of the crown.
So why did you really want to meet me?
Straight to the point again, young Ekon. All right, let's talk, you and I, Lance Sparrow.
I'm listening, my lord.
According to my spies, you have worked with Dr. Edgar Swansea on the epidemic, and your findings were quite alarming.
Do you know Edgar Swansea?
Not personally, but I've been told he has some sort of immortal fetish, and is a good friend of yours.
Does it bother you that I consider him my good friend?
As long as you reveal nothing of the club's inner workings, why should I forbid you engaging in conversation with the good Dr. Swansea?
You were spying on me.
Not personally. I rarely leave this building. But once he found you, Fergal kept me informed, until you put an end to his mission.
Who was Fergal? I don't see him sipping tea with the others in the club.
Fergal Banshire was my squire of sorts. Even before becoming that magnificent beast, he was a brute. He served me well for decades.
No, I mean, what was he? He was clearly no ordinary vampire.
No, he was a Volcod, all muscles and instinct. Quite the rare breed, ferociously territorial. Mortals often mistake them for werewolves.
You do know I killed him.
Yes.
Will you bear ill will towards me for his death?
Of course not. Your victory was quite impressive and courageous. You earned my respect.
Yes, I'm convinced the recent invasion of frenzied Scowls in London is directly linked to the epidemic. This is not the Spanish flu, but something else.
I would be glad to hear more of your discoveries, Dr. Reed, but for now, my main concern is the security of London's inhabitants, both mortal and immortal.
What do you mean?
Alarmed by the epidemic, the Guard of Prewen has started a war against us British vampires. To appease the situation, we must eradicate the Scowls.
Scowls are malevolent,
Oh shit, I didn't even read the
disgusting
options.
creatures.
I knew I was right to induct you, Dr. Reed. You would not dare lie to me on such a
It
vital
is the
topic
truth,
now,
though.
would you?
I don't know what the other options were.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to investigate the city thoroughly. I have reason to fear there are cases of contagion in this part of town. Our absolute priority is to find and cleanse them.
He's gonna want me
How
to wipe
would you
out
like
the
me to
sewers.
proceed?
By all means necessary, Dr. Reed. You are now a member of the Ascalon Club, and you have carte blanche. Interrogate the locals, follow all the leads you find, and get results.
Alright, so I'm up to Mesmerize 4 now, so I can get into
How's your
that
investigation going, Dr.
house.
Reed?
Earlier I couldn't get into.
Time is our enemy.
I have a few questions for your lordship.
All right, but be quick.
Oh crap, a whole bunch more.
May I ask you about the mortal who attended my initiation? Mr. Aloysius Dawson.
A member of the club does not normally ask questions about other members.
I just did.
We trust each other mutually.
But Mr. Dawson is mortal. Are you not afraid he might reveal who you are? Especially to your enemies.
Aloysius Dawson is a man of his word, as are all of us. This is the Ascalon Club, Dr. Reed. We do not grant access to the unworthy.
So he really is a member then?
Indeed. Only the most eminent members are allowed to attend such ceremonies. Even if I admit some of us fled during the first hours of the Great Hunt.
You made me swear on the blood of William Marshall during my initiation ceremony. Why was that?
William Marshall was the most glorious knight who ever lived. He served
I think
5
he might be a
kings
little biased.
and was a living example of probity for all. And he was my maker.
William Marshall was a vampire. Is this some sort of joke? Wait. Could he be my maker?
That would be joyful news, for it would mean he still walks among us. But alas, the great knight has left this world for good.
Why is his blood so sacred to the Ascalon Club?
He was simply the greatest defender of the realm we have ever known. I fought by his side at the Battle of Preston, and he made me his progeny following the fight.
What can you tell me about the Great Hunt?
It's a major concern, and I'm convinced we'll only get a satisfactory conclusion by putting an end to the epidemic.
I have already met Geoffrey McCullum. I'm certain he will persist until he has killed every last vampire.
The Guard's current successful recruitment campaign is driven by the ravenous behavior of the Skulls.
I see. So without the epidemic creating Skulls, the Guard could not convince anybody of our presence.
Exactly. Once we have put the epidemic behind us, we need only wait until the Guard grows old and weak. Time will once again become our ally.
What about the risk of a full-scale attack here? Geoffrey McCullum is a daring leader.
That is exactly why so many of our number have left the country until things improve. But not me. I founded this club. I'll die defending it.
Okay, if I repeated that, apologize.
Goodbye,
I
Lord
don't
Redgrave.
think I did.
Godspeed, Dr. Reed. We are counting on you.
It all starts to meld together. Okay, oh sweet, yep. Awesome, but this dude over in the corner, I feel like he has something to say to me.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Oh,
How does it feel to be this
this is the human they're talking about.
Figuratively.
I feel perfectly fine. Do I have cause for concern?
Do not be alarmed. The Ascalon Club has a tried and tested policy for choosing its initiates.
May I ask who you are, sir?
Why would you be interested?
Well, as you seem to be the only man in the room with a beating heart, you draw quite a bit of attention yourself.
Ah, vampire senses never cease to fascinate me. They dwarf those of mere mortals. I am Aloysius Dawson, by the way.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave?
I would not dare speak of our chairman without his consent.
That makes
Are
that
you
easy.
not afraid? You are surrounded by vampires.
Sir, it's for that very reason that I joined the club in the first place.
Is not the nature of this club a secret shared by only a privileged few?
My dear Dr. Reed, I have spent years and a fortune precisely to gather that kind of information.
So you asked for membership?
I have been a member of many clubs in many countries, but I must admit, this one is my favorite.
Are you a member of the club?
Yes, I am. And I have been for many years. And will be until the day I die.
Are you sick?
Personally, I consider my advancing years are a sickness in itself. My body is slowly abandoning me, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell
He
me
needs
about
that
it?
It's not
immortality.
really my place to give you such information. I am merely a mortal member, and a dying one at that.
Mr. Dawson, of Dawson and Dawson, the wealthiest man in England. It is a pleasure to meet such a prominent figure of London.
A withering London figurehead, to be precise.
Are you sick, Mr. Dawson? I am a doctor, you know.
My case is beyond the scope of traditional medicine. I have spent fortunes on the world's most competent doctors to arrive at that diagnostic conclusion.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Should I suppose that you're here in search of some form of immortality?
Absolutely not. I'm here to implement my plan to save the city I was born in. To cast out the ghastly evil that has us all on our knees.
What is the situation like in this part of town?
I am sure Lord Redgrave will enlighten you more effectively than I.
What do you know about the Guard of Priwen?
I should not say this, but I admire their commitment. This is what the nation needs right now.
But they are our enemies.
They are not mine, Dr. Reed.
Would you help them?
No. There is a time for such methods. But brute force will not be enough to fight this plague. We have to think differently.
Money cannot solve every problem. This mysterious epidemic is going to require more than money can buy.
You're right. Money is nothing unless one has the will to wield it. I have a plan, sir. A radical one that will save all that is essential in London.
What is your plan, then?
Quarantine and barricades are futile. What we need is a wall. A formidable, unscalable wall to isolate the deserving from the infected
That
masses.
sounds stupid.
By doing so, you would create two separate ghettos. What if the disease gets past the wall? The results would be disastrous.
Not if we eliminate all suspected cases of infection as soon as they appear. A necessary sacrifice.
Are you not mistaking sacrifice for summary execution?
Why do you care? Are you not a vampire? Removed from all mortal concerns? Decisiveness is what the city needs, and it needs it now.
What is your name? Aloysius Dawson? Oh, are you healthy? Alright, good. You guys have actual names? Hammersley, there's Redgrave, Hutchison, Finney, Sheffield. Alright. Exciting stuff. Smell like a red. Alright, sweet. Now, are they gonna be mad that I have this key? They're gonna come down here and be like, what the fuck are you doing? The wine cellar. Looks like we're just gonna get a letter out of coming here. Recreational use of blood. As Ascalon members, we always tend to respect etiquette. We are in all ways members of the good society, sometimes recognized as public figures. We do not find our delight in orgies and bloodbath, like our adversaries assert we do, and if one of us were caught in such caricatured and immoral act, he would receive the appropriate opprobrium. But what about the blood? What about its recreational use? How could we deny the ecstasy the vermilion ambrosia brings us? And with what else could we toast with, as any good fraternity should? To answer this delicate question, the law of conduct inside the club goes as follows. As long as the original mortal vessel is not brought inside our walls, each member is allowed to drink whatever he wants, for his own usage or to share it with friends. Drink what you want, deal the way you want with the original vessel, but never inside the club, unless I personally authorize it on some special occasion, of course. From the Lord of Ascalon by Lord Redgrave, founder. Okay, and it doesn't look like when we swept through here, we didn't gain anything. So basically all that key did was give us a letter. Alright, we need to talk to other citizens. I'm real curious about going out that back door. Alright, just over
I think
here.
Lord Redgrave just suggested I was sired by an ancient vampire.
He's talking now. Is that all he's gonna say? I don't want to
It's
interrupt.
locked.
Okay, so anyway, earlier, before I ever started the whole fraternity thing, I found this door, so here we go. Alright, we don't know exactly what's down here. Let's find out real quick. No one's sent us this way. The myth of the horned vampire. Well, we found something down here. What is a tale but forgotten or mythicized history? By essence, vampires are related to the concept of immortality, and they can be perceived as entities that live through centuries, thus becoming mythical figures themselves. But what about the concept of a tale so old it could become a myth among the vampires? I know it may sound vertiginous, whatever, but we know as scholars that the impossible is just an unexplained or undocumented event. For a few years now, I've tried to find traces of a figure rarely seen amongst the English immortals, the horned vampire. Though centuries less than 10, this makes me wonder about our maker, the blood guy that shows up. Through centuries, less than 10 occurrences of this figure can be found in the various documents gathered by our order. The figure of a man-shaped silhouette, sometimes made of blood, sometimes made of mist or rain, that appears from Wales to Scotland only to immortals. We have no idea what this thing could be. What is this creature with large deer antlers? Is it related in any way to the figure of Cernunnos, the ancestral horned god of the Celts? We don't know at all, but now think about this. Vampires themselves have no idea what this creature could be. Now that's a frightening idea. We may be in presence of something so old that only a small hint of its existence can be found through eons. If this is true, we as the Brother of St. Paul need to investigate this entity, for it could help us understand the forgotten origin of vampires. As a reminder, I added to this letter a transcription of the only written evidence we possess concerning the horned vampire, the odd poem entitled The Dreams of the Red Queen, supposedly composed by this entity. According to some vampire testimonies, this creature has sometimes even been heard singing it while briefly appearing somewhere in Great Britain. I invite all of our brothers to study this text and consider it a testament of forgotten history. 12 dreams for the Red Queen under the crown of stone, that she may linger longer with eyes kept closed. 11 thorns blooming from her troubled brow, awaiting the next harvest to be gleaned at bring. I thought that was going to end. I was like, it doesn't rhyme. Awaiting the next harvest to be gleaned at brisk springs. 10 copper veins ripped from the belly of the earth, melted into tears falling towards banished brothers. 9 glorious pyres on the scorched plain, to punish those whose hands were slow to obey. 8 voracious beasts, born from 8 restless nights, their backs hardened by their race with the sun. 7 notes of warning in the summer sky, compelling child to shielded sheets of sleep. 6 watchers bent into the hunting trails, shadows of their spears trace their tired furrows. 5 houses to fall before song's end, then 5 more reborn from their blackened ashes. 4 nails piercing the flesh of the sinner, restlessly hung to the dark wood of the crimes. 3 books scribbled by pen of the dancer, who refuses to answer the call of the abyss. 2 giant rival snakes slither in ageless forest, coiled to the bones of mortals destined for the grave. 1 prayer for the summoned called by this song, child born from darkness whose path he must find. From Drinking at the Fountain of Knowledge by Usher Taltree, Primate of St. Paul. Whew! Okay. That was different. Hey! This is over to Fergal and all that. Okay. You know what? It's not a good note to end it on. Let's see. I don't know where we're at time-wise. You know what? We'll cut it short. We talked to Redgrave, we talked to Lucius, we found a couple notes and read, and probably one of the more boring episodes, except for the front-loaded with exposition from Redgrave and Lucius, whatever the hell his name is, the human. But that's going to do it for this episode. When we come back, we'll definitely do the next main part, start knocking out some of these side missions. So we'll see you then. I'm Happy Tangent. Please like and subscribe.